What if the secret to a joyful life after 60 isn't about chasing grand achievements or trying to recapture your youth? What if it's something much quieter, something that's already within your reach? So many of us find that life after 60 brings a kind of unexpected quiet. The familiar rhythm of a career has faded. The house might feel a little bigger and more silent than it used to. And sometimes, there's this feeling of being just a little adrift. Society loves to tell us to look backward, to measure our lives by the titles we held and the milestones we passed. But what if that's looking in the completely wrong direction? What if the truest, most sustainable source of happiness isn't in the photo albums of your past, but in the landscape of your own mind right now? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a reality backed by a growing mountain of research and the real experiences of countless happy people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. They've stumbled upon a few simple, powerful mental shifts that can unlock a level of well-being that many of us never thought possible in this chapter of life. And these aren't complicated theories. They are practical, learnable skills for your mind. So in this video, we're not just going to give you a list of hobbies or travel destinations. Instead, we're going on a journey inward. We're going to pull back the curtain on 5 of those powerful secrets, 5 fundamental mindset shifts that can help you genuinely boost your happiness starting today. Secret number 1, the power of proactive gratitude. Our first secret is a word you know well, but we're going to look at it in a new light. The secret is gratitude. But we're not talking about the kind of gratitude that just happens to you when you get a surprise gift or the sun comes out. We're talking about proactive gratitude. This is the deliberate, conscious act of looking for the good in your life, especially when it's not jumping out at you. It's not a feeling you wait for. It's a practice you start. The thing is, as we get older, our minds can naturally start to focus on loss. We think about the career that's over, the friends who are no longer with us, the physical abilities that have started to fade. It's so easy to fall into a state where we're only thankful when big, positive things happen. But those big events can become less frequent, and if we're just waiting around for them, we can spend an awful lot of time waiting. That passive approach leaves our happiness completely up to chance. The mental shift is to treat gratitude like a muscle you exercise every single day. It's about actively scanning your world for things to be thankful for, no matter how small. Research overwhelmingly supports this. Studies from top institutions have shown a powerful link between practicing gratitude and feeling happier, more optimistic, and even living longer. It's been proven to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, lower the stress hormone cortisol, and help you sleep better. It literally changes your brain and your body for the better. So, how do we make this a real habit? First, the gratitude journal. It's a classic for a reason. But let's take it up a notch. Don't just make a list. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my coffee," take a moment to really feel it and describe that feeling. You could write, "I'm grateful for the rich, dark smell of the coffee brewing this morning, the comforting warmth of the mug in my hands, and the quiet 10 minutes it gave me to just sit before the day rushed in." Can you feel the difference? One is a checklist item. The other is a moment of real, lived experience. Committing to just 3 of these detailed entries a day can fundamentally change your outlook. Second, try a gratitude walk. The next time you step outside, give yourself a mission to find 5 things in the world around you that you are genuinely thankful for. It could be the impossibly intricate pattern on a leaf, the sound of kids playing in a park nearby, the feeling of a cool breeze, or the simple kindness of a stranger who smiles as they pass. This trains your brain to stop ignoring the small wonders that are always there. Third, express it. Think of someone who made a real difference in your life. Maybe a teacher from 40 years ago, a former colleague, or a family member. Write them a letter and tell them exactly what they did and how it shaped you. You don't even have to send it. The act of putting that appreciation into words is where the power is. It solidifies that positive memory and makes it emotionally stronger. It deepens our relationships and social bonds, which are absolutely vital to our well-being. I remember a time when I was feeling really stuck, focusing on every little ache and every limitation. It felt heavy. I decided to try journaling, even though it felt a bit silly at first. My first entry was literally grateful for socks, but I kept at it. A week later, I was writing about the joy of a long phone call with an old friend. A month later, I found myself just naturally noticing good things during the day, making mental notes for my journal. It wasn't that my problems vanished, but my focus had shifted. The good things started to feel more real and more important than the challenges. That's the power of proactive gratitude. It's the conscious choice to water the flowers in your mind instead of the weeds. Secret number 2, redefining your purpose. Once you start appreciating the small, daily moments of your life, a new question often bubbles up. So, what's this all for? After decades of life being built around a career, raising a family, or both, retirement can feel like hitting a sudden, jarring stop sign. That label you wore, whether it was teacher, engineer, parent, or manager, is gone. This can lead to a deep sense of aimlessness, a fear of becoming irrelevant. This empty space is where our second secret becomes absolutely essential. The secret is this: your purpose doesn't retire, it evolves. The mental shift is moving away from a role-based identity to a value-based identity. Instead of defining yourself by what you did, you start defining yourself by what you value. Think about it this way. Maybe your role was accountant. You're not an accountant anymore. But what were the values underneath that work? Maybe it was bringing order to chaos, helping people feel secure, or the simple satisfaction of solving a tough problem. Those values didn't disappear when you packed up your desk. The secret is to ask yourself, how can I live out these core values in my life now? This shift is critical for resilience and fulfillment. The research here is striking. Studies consistently show that seniors with a strong sense of purpose report dramatically higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. And purpose can come from anywhere, not just from grand, world-changing projects. So, how do we find this new purpose? First, by giving back. Volunteering is a powerful way to put a lifetime of skills and wisdom to good use. If you valued mentoring in your career, you could mentor a young person. If you were a skilled woodworker, you could help out at a local community center. The research is clear. Older adults who volunteer see improvements in their mental health and feel less depressed and isolated. It's a double gift. Your community gets your experience, and you get a renewed sense of accomplishment and connection. Second, through creativity and lifelong learning. Maybe you always wanted to learn guitar, paint with watercolors, or finally write your family's history. These aren't just hobbies to kill time. They are acts of creating meaning. The goal isn't to become a professional musician or a famous author. The purpose is in the process itself, the daily practice, the small moments of getting a little better, the joy of making something that wasn't there before. Plus, challenging your brain by learning new things is fantastic for your cognitive health. Third, by embracing small, personal goals. Purpose doesn't have to be some huge, sweeping mission. It can be woven right into the fabric of your day. The purpose for today might be perfecting a new soup recipe for your grandkids. The purpose for this week might be to finally organize that box of old photos, becoming the curator of your own life story. These small, real goals provide structure, a sense of control, and a feeling of moving forward, which is the perfect antidote to feeling adrift. A lot of people hear this and think, "Oh, but I'm too old for that," or "I just don't have the energy." That's a story you're telling yourself, not a fact. The key is to start small. Don't think about writing a novel. Just write 1 page. Don't think about becoming a master gardener. Just pot a single plant. Purpose is scalable. The goal is to find what gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning, feeling a little bit of excitement. It's about shifting the question from, "What did I used to be?" to, "Who do I want to be today?" That is a question filled with endless possibility at any age. Secret number 3, the gentle art of acceptance. Finding a new purpose is incredibly energizing. But as we start diving into new activities and goals, we can sometimes run straight into our own limitations. Our bodies might not always cooperate. Our energy might ebb and flow. We might not be able to do things as quickly or as easily as we used to. This can create a constant, low-level frustration, a feeling of always fighting a battle, and that brings us to our third, and maybe most profound, secret. The secret is to practice active acceptance. Now, this is a very misunderstood idea. Acceptance is not the same as giving up. Giving up is passive and hopeless. It's throwing your hands in the air and saying, "This is awful, and there's nothing I can do." Active acceptance, on the other hand, is a courageous and strategic choice. It's the conscious decision to stop fighting a battle you know you can't win, so you can free up all that energy for the battles you can. The problem is, we are wired to resist. We resist the signs of aging. We resist physical pain. We resist the changes and losses that are just a part of a long life. We burn enormous amounts of mental and emotional fuel pushing against reality. This internal war is a huge source of our unhappiness. It's like trying to swim against a powerful current. You'll just end up exhausted and in the same spot. The mental shift of active acceptance is about learning to turn and flow with the current, using your wisdom to steer your boat toward calmer waters. It's about looking at life's challenges squarely in the face, without denial and without that exhausting resistance. So, how do we practice this gentle art? First, by separating the fact from the feeling. Let's say you have chronic knee pain. The fact is, my knee hurts. The feeling, or the story we pile on top, is often, "This is awful. I can't do anything. My life is so limited now. It's not fair." Active acceptance means acknowledging the fact, "My knee hurts today," without adding that second layer of suffering. You just observe the pain without judgment. This simple act creates a tiny bit of space between you and the pain, and in that space, you find freedom. Second, focus on what you can control. This is the heart of active acceptance. You might not be able to control the arthritis in your hands, but you can control whether you do your gentle stretching exercises. You can control the tools you use in the kitchen to make chopping easier. You accept the limitation, and then you strategically work with it or around it. You accept that you can't run a marathon anymore, so you redirect that energy into becoming a dedicated walker, someone who truly notices the neighborhood and enjoys the fresh air. You trade one identity for another, gracefully and without a fight. Third, by practicing emotional flexibility. This is the ability to adapt and find new sources of joy when the old ones aren't available anymore. Maybe you loved spending hours in the garden, but now your back just won't allow it. Giving up is staring sadly out the window at your weeds. Acceptance is saying, "Okay, that chapter has closed. What's next?" And then you might discover the joy of container gardening on the patio. Or you might shift your passion for growing things into nurturing your relationships with your grandkids. You find a new well to draw joy from. This mindset is profoundly linked to better mental health. It's about making peace with what is, so you can fully embrace what still can be. I know a woman who was a passionate dancer her whole life. In her late 60s, a health issue made it impossible for her to continue. She was devastated. But then, she practiced acceptance. She started volunteering at a local dance school, helping with costumes and mentoring the young dancers. She told me, "I can't feel the music in my feet anymore, but I can see it in their eyes, and that's a different kind of joy." She didn't give up her love for dance. She found a new way to express it. That is the gentle, transformative power of acceptance. Secret number 4, mining your past for resilience. We've talked about finding peace in the present with acceptance, but our relationship with the past is just as critical to our happiness now. For many of us over 60, the past can feel like a heavy backpack filled with the rocks of regret. What if I had taken that other job? Why didn't I save more? I wish I'd been a more patient parent. This kind of thinking, this constant replaying of old mistakes, is a thief that steals the joy from today. Our 4th secret is about turning that heavy backpack into a treasure chest of strength. The secret is to reframe your life story as a story of resilience. The mental shift is to consciously change your focus from what you did wrong to what you survived. You are an expert in resilience. You have a lifetime of evidence to prove it, but you may have never thought to look at it that way. The problem is our natural bias toward focusing on negative events and our own perceived screw-ups. It's an old survival mechanism that, in modern life, can just make us miserable. We let our mistakes define our history instead of our triumphs over adversity. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending hard things didn't happen. It's about changing the story. Happy and satisfied older adults tend to be the ones who see past challenges as opportunities for growth. When you reflect on difficulties and recognize how you grew from them, it builds a deep sense of meaning. There's even a fascinating study that found having a positive mindset about aging was linked to better physical recovery after a fall, showing a direct link between our outlook and our physical toughness. So, how can you actively mine your past for this resilience? Let's try a little exercise right now. Think back to a major challenge you faced in your 30s or 40s. A career setback, a financial crisis, a tough breakup, a health scare. At that moment, it probably felt overwhelming, maybe even impossible. Just take a second and remember how that felt. Now, consider this. You're here today. You got through it. The story didn't end there. The important questions to ask yourself are not, "Why did that happen to me?" but rather, "How did I get through it?" What inner strengths did you have to find? Did you discover you were more patient, more determined, or more compassionate than you realized? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about life? When you do this, you stop being the victim of your past and become the hero of your own story. You are actively identifying the tools you use to survive and thrive. That career setback taught you how to adapt. That financial crisis taught you how to be resourceful. That health scare taught you the precious value of every single day. These aren't failures. They are the earned wisdom you carry with you right now. You can make this a regular practice. Take one difficult memory each week and write down not just what happened, but what you learned from it and what strength you used to get through it. This process reframes your personal history from a list of regrets into an epic of survival. This new perspective on your own strength has a powerful effect on your present life. When you face a new challenge today, a medical diagnosis or a bout of loneliness, you can look back at your track record. You can say to yourself, "I've handled tough things before. I have the tools. I survived that, so I can handle this." It builds a deep, evidence-based confidence in your ability to navigate life's storms. You stop seeing yourself as fragile and start seeing yourself as the seasoned, wise, and incredibly resilient person you actually are. Your past isn't a burden to be dragged along. It's the very foundation that your present strength is built on. Secret number 5, the gift of the present moment. We've walked through gratitude, we've found new purpose, we've learned to accept what is, and we've reframed our past as a source of strength. All of these powerful shifts are brought to life by our fifth and final secret, the one that ties them all together. It's about finding joy, not in what was or what might be, but right here, in the only moment that ever truly exists, the now. The secret is to cultivate mindfulness and present moment awareness. The problem is, the human mind is a natural time traveler. It's constantly jumping into the future to rehearse worries or wandering back to the past to replay regrets. As a result, we completely miss the life that is happening right in front of us. We eat a delicious meal without really tasting it because we're worried about an upcoming appointment. We sit with someone we love but don't truly hear them because we're stewing over something that happened yesterday. This constant mental noise is exhausting, and it's a primary driver of stress. The mental shift is to gently, and without any judgment, train your attention to come back to the present. Mindfulness isn't about emptying your mind or stopping your thoughts. That's impossible. It's simply about noticing where your mind has wandered and lovingly guiding it back home to the here and now. This practice is incredibly powerful for older adults. It's known to slash stress, improve our emotional balance, and even help us cope with chronic pain. It's the fertile soil where gratitude, secret number 1, and acceptance, secret number 3, can really grow. When you're fully present, you're far more likely to notice the small things to be grateful for and better able to accept situations without adding that layer of anxious storytelling. So, how can we make this a simple, easy part of our day? First, through mindful breathing. This is the simplest meditation there is, and you can do it anywhere. Just find a comfortable spot, close your eyes if you like, and bring your full attention to the physical sensation of your breath. Feel the air coming in through your nose, filling your lungs, and the gentle release as you exhale. Your mind will wander. That's its job. When you notice it's drifted off, just gently acknowledge it without criticism, and then guide your focus right back to the feeling of your breath. Even 1 or 2 minutes of this can calm your entire nervous system and anchor you in the now. Second, use your senses. This is a great grounding technique. Wherever you are right now, just take a moment to deliberately notice 5 things you can see: the color of the wall, the light from a window; 4 things you can feel: the texture of your shirt, the solid chair beneath you; 3 things you can hear: the hum of the fridge, a distant car; 2 things you can smell: the faint scent of soap, the air itself; and 1 thing you can taste: the lingering flavor of your last cup of tea. This exercise instantly yanks your attention out of the chaos in your head and into the physical reality of the present. Third, bring mindfulness into your daily routines. You can turn any boring chore into a mindfulness practice. When you wash the dishes, instead of letting your mind race, bring your full attention to the task. Feel the warm water on your hands. See the colors of the soap bubbles. Hear the sound of a plate being rinsed clean. By immersing yourself in the sensory experience of a simple task, you turn a chore into a moment of peaceful meditation. You can do the same thing when you're folding laundry, drinking your tea, or taking a shower. Living in the present moment is a gift you give yourself, over and over again. It's where all of life's richness is found. The past is a memory. The future is a fantasy. But the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of a fresh strawberry, the sound of a loved one's laugh, those things are real, and they are happening right now. Our 5th secret is the key to making sure you don't miss them. It's the simple, profound practice of actually showing up for your own life. So, there you have them. 5 simple secrets. Not for changing your life, but for changing how you experience your life. These aren't quick fixes or empty slogans. They are deep, fundamental shifts in your thinking that don't cost a thing, but can give you a richness that money can't buy. Let's quickly walk back through the journey we just took. We started with proactive gratitude, the daily practice of actively looking for the good, which literally rewires our brain for happiness. Then we talked about redefining your purpose, shifting from who you were to what you value, which fills your days with meaning. We discovered the gentle art of active acceptance, the wise choice to stop fighting what you can't change, freeing up your energy for what you can. From there, we learned how to mine your past for resilience, reframing your challenges not as failures, but as proof of your incredible strength. And finally, we uncovered the gift of the present moment, using mindfulness to anchor ourselves in the here and now, which is the only place life is actually lived. Each of these secrets builds on the others, creating a powerful framework for a happier life. They all point to the same core message. Happiness after 60 isn't about what you've lost or what you've achieved. It's about what you choose to focus on, moment by moment. It's about understanding that you already have the tools inside you to craft a joyful, peaceful, and deeply meaningful life, right now. This chapter of your life is not an epilogue. It's a rich and complex new volume, and it's still being written, and you are the author. But this conversation doesn't end here. This is a community of shared wisdom, and your experience is so valuable. In the comments below, please share which of these 5 secrets resonated with you the most. Or, tell us about one simple practice that brings you happiness in your daily life. Your insight might be the one thing that helps another person see their own life in a new, more beautiful light. Your story matters. And of course, if you found this video helpful and want to keep exploring these ideas with us, please take a moment to click the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really does help us grow and reach more people who might need to hear this message. We have so much more planned to help you live your best, most vibrant life after 60, and we don't want you to miss it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, your age is not a barrier. It's a badge of honor, representing a lifetime of wisdom. Wear it with pride and live this chapter with a profound and gentle joy.